We are Blastin stashin live Friday night. We got a couple people in the chat already. Of course, we got Legion says, "What up, comic fam?" And we got Double S says he can't wait, fellas. You probably can't wait till. Well, where'd Mike go? Mike just disappeared on us. Is it like what is that when people just disappears and goes to heaven? What do they call that?
Death?
No, leaves their clothes behind. Rapture. He was raptured. Mike was raptured.
Death?
Death works too, I guess. He just disappeared on us there. We were doing the intro, and all of a sudden, bam, Mike's gone. I wasn't paying attention. First time catching shows, what we do is we buy the books that come out Comic Book Wednesday. We read them. We blast the books we hate. We stash the books alike. And, of course, you can always go over to, if you like this stuff, man, make sure you give us a thumbs up, a sub, all that stuff. Ring that little bell so you know we're going live. But it's always Friday nights. It's always 7 p.m., 10 Eastern. So, but definitely go over to, where is it? There it is, the Teespring stuff. I got a couple new shirts over there. Got the Pocan show, got the You've Been Thunderlust, and the Shut Your Funko Mouth, which that's a segment Mike hasn't been doing in quite some time. But he likes to bring up his Funkos. Dude, you like to pull your Funko out once in a while and show us. I've seen it.
Pull out the Funko.
Yeah, especially when you had to share that room and wherever it was. Yeah. Is your Funko a bobblehead or is one of those stationary ones? What is it, Mike?
I'm ignoring you.
Okay. He's mad. He's in a bad mood. I think he just woke up. He got an alarm and woke up and been stocking Coke with or Pepsi. Sorry,
Coke. Yeah, now it's a party.
Sorry, he worked for Pepsi, not Coke. That's his competitor. With low gas and everything else, man. I don't know. You guys still have the gas shortage going on, or is that all up and running now?
We're fine.
Yeah, it's catching up slowly. It was just a hack on the systems. There's no shortage. They just had to shut off the pumps because somebody hacked the system.
Oh, on the news, it seemed like there was like shortage. People were lined up. It was like 73 when that gas shortage hit.
Yeah,
there
were some lines.
When I went to the comic book shop Wednesday, 9:30, there were lines outside some of the fuel stations. Some of the fuel stations didn't have fuel at all and were completely empty. But yesterday at work, out driving around town, they were all back to normal.
Well, that's why you always keep some spare gas in your shed with a little bit of fuel stabilizer in it, and don't have to worry about that crap.
Or a Tesla.
All stations empty here. People are dumb. Suck them dry. That sounds like a normal Friday night around here. What else we do this week? I watched Under Siege last night. I was kind of bored. I'm sitting around, got off work, and I'm like, what's on Netflix or what's on Prime or whatever. Steven Seagal, yeah. And that's like my only Steven Seagal movie that I like.
That's the one where he was a cook, but he was like super secret squirrel Navy SEAL guy, but he worked on the ship as a cook, right?
Yeah. As Tommy Lee Jones is the bad guy. Yep. Finished season 2 of Yellowstone, so I got one more season of that to go. We got Chip Getler in here. Happy Friday at Legion of Comics.
I don't know if you've checked out his channel, guys, but y'all need to check out his channel because I always do the awkward sips of coffee, and then like his whole thing is coffee and a comic, and he has like these exotic coffees, which I disagree with. Coffee should taste like hate with a little bit of whiskey in it. But he's got some really cool stuff going on, and he's he makes it look good. Like I wish I had half that dude's skill when it comes to like angling a shot. It's really cool stuff. He does a good job, and he's always got a cool comic book on him.
Out of all that we talked about Under Siege, about Steven Seagal being like this badass Navy SEAL cook, Legion pops in. Was that the one where the topless chick jumped out of the cake? Yep, that's it. That's the same one.
That's what you remember from it. No.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I remembered when it came out in 91. Yeah. See what else? I thought I watched another movie, but I guess I don't remember. I tried watching Jupiter's Legacy. I watched the first episode. I just did not grab me. I've heard
Dude,
some
keep
people
watching
say
it.
need to keep and watch it a few other episodes. Yeah,
Force
so
your way through it. Oh my god, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was great.
what about you, Joe? What else have you been doing?
Well, I finished Jupiter's Legacy, so I'm all caught up on that. And now I'm thinking I need to read the comic book because, again, that was one of those comic books I just don't pick up. And now I'm like, I'm kicking myself in the ass for it. Not for its value or anything like that, but it seems like my kind of comic book. So I may be picking that up. I recently was the worshipful master of my Masonic Lodge, and now my year is over officially. So I've done a good year, and they gave me a bunch of plaques and awards. And then over at the American Legion, I have retired at the post level, the local level, and I've been nominated for a national and state position. So I'll be taking that stuff over now as we go through that. So that means I'm back on the road again, which means more comic book hunting as I travel and do things. And I'm really excited to get that kind of back on my YouTube channel. So that's going to be fun. So I don't think I'll be watching a whole lot of shows. I think I'm back to the way the Pocan Joe show used to happen, where you'd see me everywhere. So I'm excited about that.
What about you, Mike? Besides sleeping, what'd you do?
You know, I gave up on Deadly Class. That show fucking sucks. I don't know, the 5th episode, 6th episode, where they go to Vegas all fucked up and get all fucked up.
I thought that was awesome.
And I kept thinking to myself, these are kids of the mafia, the Yakuza. I thought it'd be more like, trying to take each one out during school or something. But they're all best friends. And no, it didn't do nothing for me. I stopped watching it.
Keep watching it. Oh my god, dude, you got to keep watching it. The redneck pig kid. Oh my god, that shit is freaking hilarious. You keep watching it.
I might finish it. Other than that,
You're in a dead zone right now for television shows anyway. You might as well catch it.
Well, I haven't watched Jupiter's Legacy yet.
Mm.
And I know the newest episode of The Bad Batch came out today. Gonna watch that. Started watching underrated horror movie from the late 90s called Wishmaster. I enjoy those. I'm on the 3rd one. I'm on my 4th playthrough in Outriders, the last class. So, the Pyromancer. Setting bitches on fire. And,
Fire!
Of course, work. I'll be training. I'm training a guy for the next 2 weeks. So
Did he come over from Coca-Cola?
No, he did not. A lot of people are leaving Coke. A lot of people are leaving Canada Dry. So
I'm assuming you probably got to commit carry or something, don't you? Before you change over to your competitor, you're like fall on your own sword.
It's really not that serious. We get customers ask us all the time. You guys get along? You guys fight it out in the parking lot? We look out for each other. Actually, we're all doing the same thing, just different colors.
I could see Coke, the guy getting ready to quit to go to work for Pepsi. They strap him down in a chair, stuff him full of Coke, and shove some Mentos down his throat. So he does that. Is it Mentos? That the
Colombia. Some guy shoved me down with a bunch of Coke and Mementos. That was an awesome experience.
Yeah, it's a different kind of Coke, though. I think we're talking about there. The other thing too, Mike made me remember one of the movie I watched this week. I bought Day of the Dead, Zack Snyder's remake of that, because Army of the Dead is coming out the 21st on Netflix. I'm super excited for that. Dave Bautista. Dave Bautista. Yeah, so I'm super excited for that. So I had to go watch Day of the Dead just to kind of get myself in the mindset of going to check out another zombie movie. What are you shaking your head about?
The original Day of the Dead, the good one?
No, the Zack Snyder. The Snyder one. Came out in 2004.
Yeah, it's not bad. That's a good movie.
Which one?
That's the one with the mall. They're in the mall.
I thought that's Dawn of the Dead.
Maybe it is Dawn of the Dead. Sorry, did I say Day of the Dead?
It's a zombie movie. It doesn't matter.
It has zombie babies in it. Snyder is Dawn of the Dead. That's what Legion's saying. Yep, you're right. Okay. So let's get off of movies and whatever you're doing. Let's go into the comic books. Joe, since you got a nut in your mouth, why don't you give us a start there?
You say since I'm eating jelly beans, dude.
Oh, is that what it is?
All right. I'm going to start off with a blast. Kind of sort of a blast. I'm not blasting this. I'm just confused by this. So I'm going to talk about this Festival of Heroes. This is done because it's Asian Pacific Month. And hey, for all you Asian and Pacific Islander people out there, hey, happy month, man. God knows you've earned it. But I'm not.
Thanks for bombing Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that. That's it. like there was some strife in the U.S. during that time. We get it, right? People were scared. Stupid things happened. All right, so this book right here, the only problem is that the writers in this don't respect you. I'm just gonna say it. There's only 2 writers in here that really, well, 3. 2 I liked, 1 I didn't like, and the rest of it's garbage. Out of all the stories, apparently people are under the impression when they write a comic book, they immediately, when they think about a culture, they think about food, and food's just an arbitrary thing. When we get into our corner later, we'll talk about value and culture, because I want to make it very clear. Food does not distinguish a people, or there was a paper that was written in 2017 called "Everything's a Burrito." Right, everything's a burrito. In this, everything's focused around food. Now, Ram V wrote a brilliant story in here about mask. Mask can be done at a personal level throughout any culture, but he focused on the Asian mask in here of this particular character and how that hides an emotion. I thought that was ingeniously written. Ram V is Jesus Christ. Couple of more stories from him, and he's going to be my writer at the Stashies. Like, that's just going to be the deal. The other story that was written in here was by Young, and Young did a beautiful story in here as well, where he did this whole monkey prince thing. And I want more of this. I want more of this interaction between him and Shazam, and not just their superhero alter egos, but their human child trying to live through the world type alter ego as well. Those were just my picks of the week right there, those 2 stories. The sad thing is I had to read this huge, thick book of all this garbage in here about how this is actually what sushi is. It's actually called this other thing, which was incorrect to begin with. And it was, everything else was just pandering around food, because if you actually got down to the culture of it, you'll find out that even in Asian cultures, they don't exactly always get along either. Like they're weird, especially when you're dealing with Koreans and Japanese. Like, that's a weird situation. Don't get me started on Japanese and Chinese, because that's a totally different situation. And we're not even going to touch Chinese and Taiwanese and that entire area, and then where the Filipinos fit in, they don't like any of them. That turns into a situation too. So just to keep things light and fun and the average reader stupid, we're going to talk about food. And I thought that was a cheap way out of it. So shame on the other writers in this. Yang and Ram V, good job. I don't know why you would be watching this, but if you are, Jesus Christ, you guys are genius writers, and thank you for a delicious story, while the rest of you just talked about delicious food. Spicy, but there's my take.
Mike, did you read that spicy meatball over there?
No, I had better ideas for $10 in that book.
That was $10?
Yeah.
Wow.
The sacrifices we make for our viewers. And you're welcome, viewer.
So Double S said, did Huey just say Joey had a nut in his mouth?
They're jelly beans.
Yep.
Jelly beans.
well, your name kind of confused me. It's a 2L 2Q. I don't know what that means. I know it's a LGBT. Oh, God. Okay, sorry. I was thinking it was something else. I was thinking maybe your pronouns were showing or something. Mike, what do you got?
Oh, I read a total of a whopping 6 books. So we will start with Heroes Reborn #2. I got this.
Dos.
awesome Mark Bagley trading card variant Hyperion goodness. Um, I enjoyed this one as well as I did the first one. Right at the beginning, we get a flashback of Hyperion just taking out Galactus by flying through his brains, and that was pretty awesome. Then we get into the whole story where all the villains of this world have escaped from the negative zone prison that Mr. Fantastic created. Hyperion cleans all that up, and that towards the end he takes on Immortal Hulk or Incredible Hulk or Iridescent Hulk or whatever he's calling himself these days, and ends up, I guess, killing him as well. So that was cool. And at the very end, Hyperion meets this strange bearded man, which turns out to be Captain America, which somehow Blade has freed. So fun story. I'm enjoying it. It's a stash.
Yeah, that splash page.
And both Captain America and the Hulk seem to realize that something is not right with this world. So
yeah. That splash page was awesome. Go to that second page where Hyperion just flying through, purple brain matter going everywhere. But this is like Hyperion's a douchebag book. That's all this is. I mean, that's what it seems like. I mean, what was Hulk doing? He was just talking to the students. Me not understand. And then Hyperion comes in, dude, you need to get out of here with your big green ass. You know, just start kicking it out.
Kids.
Oh, I get that, but it's just like, it just seemed like, where did the beatdown have to come to Hulk? Hulk wasn't doing anything wrong. He was just saying he didn't understand what was going on. You know, there's something's amiss. But Hyperion, I guess maybe because he knows the truth and he's trying to keep people quiet. I guess so. But
he just know it because in the dialogue he kind of explains world not right. Like he understands as well. So he's right there in the same boat with Blade.
I'm talking about Hyperion. Is that why he kicked Hulk's ass? Because he knew the truth, or he knew something was wrong, and Hyperion tried to protect that truth?
I think that's the thing that catches the reader. Does he know? Yeah. Does he not know? You know?
Yeah. But overall, you know, it's a stash. I'll continue to pick it up. Like I said, Hyperion's a total douchebag in this book. But I'll pick it up. I'll pick up the 6. I was trying to get the 1 in 25. Number 6, a Frank Cho cover, but my store's not getting 25. I'm not getting 20. I'd have to look at it. I'd show it to you. But I was hoping to get it. But they said they weren't ordering 25 copies of number 6, so I guess I'm not. Well, what's your take on it, Joe?
So I was like, okay, knock off Justice League team. How do I feel about this? I'll pick up issue 2, right? Picked up issue 2. And the great thing about this is that these other 2 stories kind of tie in with it. The Shutterbug and the Hyperion or Hyperion and the Imperial Guard. These are all together. This one sums up everything that happens in these 2. And I thought that was a cheap way to go because now I bought 2 other comic books. I read this. I already got a hint of it. And all I got was an explainer in the other 2, which is fine. All in all, I'm now interested in this. And when I read this last week, I blasted issue 1. I blasted it. I was like, this is garbage. It's just Marvel flexing that it can make fun of DC characters, you know, because it's very obvious. And then I read this and I was like, hold on. I think we actually got a story here, something that's kind of interesting. And honestly, I think this is going to be the best Captain America story we're going to get this year because Coates is a garbage writer and he shouldn't be reading anything. So I'm going to stash this.
Now, here's that Frank Cho, the 1 in 25, number 6 right there.
Oh, I wish I would have gotten that.
That's still not out yet, but yeah, my store said they didn't order 25.
Yeah,
I definitely would have bought that one. I would have paid the extra money for a little bit of Cho. What do we got going on in the chat? Double S says, thank you, Huey. Hulk wasn't doing anything wrong. So thank you for having that.
Unannounced to a school, but technically he did the same thing Captain America did. and Hyperion had to kick him out too. Remember, he's the teacher there, so you can't just like randomly show up and start talking to kids. Think about this: if you have kids, would you want Pocan Joe just randomly showing up to one of their classes and start talking to them? No, you don't want
not you, because you'd be handing out little free samples.
Yeah, jelly beans.
Yeah, jelly beans.
Yeah, I live in a state where you're not allowed to smoke marijuana. Not until July 1st. But
July 1st, that changes, huh?
Yeah, this Hampton Roads goes to shit then.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
I'm going to sit back in front of my TV watching the news and watching the chaos unfurl. No, it'll be all
right. Kids and Pocan Joe, hell no. Hulk, probably be all right. Okay, I'm talking about my first book. It's an indie book. This is, I think it's going to be my indie pick. Time Before Time. Anybody else read that from Image Comics this week?
I tried to read it. Maybe I have to read it again, but it just didn't get me.
It is kind of tropey. It does have that common trope where this guy, there's these agents there take people who are in trouble, take them in different points of time to kind of hide them out, and one kid's all pissing and complaining doesn't have Wi-Fi because it's 1987.
Yeah.
But this one guy, he's like trying to pay off a debt. That's what he's trying to do. And he goes like, oh, well, you broke this last machine. You owe us more money. So I guess you're going to be working for us a little bit longer. That whole trope where the guy's trying to get out of under the thumb of the mafia guy or the bad guy or whatever. So he eventually convinced his partner, his friend, that, hey, we're going to steal one of these pods. We're going to go somewhere in time where they're never going to find us. They're getting ready to act out their plan, but his buddy gets called to go on a mission or go on a time jump, and he ends up heading into the future, and he ends up getting arrested and put in prison and tortured and comes back as an old man. And then he decides the guy who didn't go take the jump and would have had the original plan of leaving end up getting into one of these pods and end up with an FBI agent. And then I guess the pod got shot. So they have no clue to what year they're in. The timestamp's all garbled. You don't know what it is. Maybe they're going to end up at the Twin Pine Mall. I don't know, in 1987. But overall,
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
Twin Pine Mall. Back to the Future.
Yeah, this was really good. I said kind of tropey. It did, the whole thing with the debt, with the bad guy. But other than that, I'm definitely interested in checking out more of this. I'm definitely going to be picking up issue 2. So time before time. Yeah, it's a stash.
Huh.
Joe, did you pick it up?
I did not, but it sounds interesting. I think I might want to try to hunt that down.
Kind of a time. I got kind of a time cop vibe from it too. A little bit.
Well, you can just send me your copy. I mean,
I could, but then I wouldn't have it. Maybe I'll go back and
vote right now in the chat. Should Huey send me that comic book? I think he should. Vote now.
Oh, the other part of it too is that the time hopping makes him sick, so they end up like he's getting sicker and sicker as more and more time hops he does. I'll just go back in time and get you another one. That's all. Mike, what was your initial? Hey, Legion, you don't get to vote on that. That was not meant to be answered.
No, the vote started. I already put it out.
My initial
yeah.
I was like, damn, Pocan Joe could do better art than this, and he's always drunk.
Yeah, I'm not always drunk.
That was my first thought when I read it.
So I got 2 yeses. But you didn't even finish it, huh, Mike?
No, I finished it, but like I said, I didn't really care for it. I don't know. I might, should I read it again and make sure?
That's up to you. The art's not the best. The art's kind of really funky. They only use like the 3-color palette, or something like that. That's kind of, I don't care for that. But overall, I know
Legion had mentioned Geiger. My shop didn't get any of their copies of Geiger in, so I had to order it.
Oh wow!
I got issue 2. Oh my god! So, yeah, we'll talk about it.
Well, you're up, Joe. What do you got, man?
Oh, let's talk about Geiger too.
Let's talk about Geiger.
So, This is stupid good. And the great thing about this is it's not heavily focused on the hero in this. Like, there's a hero, and there's obviously a tragic backstory to him. And they kind of play to it a little bit, where they kind of explain, like, he shouldn't be alive and his medical records or whatever after the explosion, whatever. None of that crap matters. What makes this beautifully done is this tropey, comically done villain aspect to it, where these villains are kind of associated with the casinos that they're associated with. God, that's a horrible sentence, but it's accurate. It's literally accurate. So
That's
the
like
guy
a Dave
from Camelot likes to tell this story about how he beat Geiger, right? And he made himself this big hero. The story is completely fictional, and come to find out, he has to wear a mask because he got all fucked up from Geiger in the past, which is great. So in this, we get I don't know if people are familiar with this term, but it's called the football option, right? The president carries around a briefcase and it has nuclear codes in it, and he can launch nukes anytime he wants, called the football. Somebody finally gets this thing, and they bring it to Camelot, and these cats are like, ooh, the king's going to love us for this, right? Because everything's kind of Arthenian based there, for lack of a better word. Waitress steals it because she wants to take it to NORAD, because apparently we find out, and there's a lot of these two issues are very much world building. And I like it when you take your time to build your world, because it gives us our boundaries in it. What are we dealing with? And I think it's geniusly being done. Jeff Johns in this, I'm very happy that Jeff Johns is being Jeff Johns in this, and he's not doing that doomsday clock bullshit where he's trying to be like an Alan Moore and trying to write like Alan Moore. He's being Jeff Johns in this, and it's very brilliantly done. So anyway, mom ends up dying, kids escape, and they know to go to Denver, to NORAD, out in Denver, because that's the one safe haven where apparently there's some sort of American government that's still established there. They meet Geiger along the way. It's very intense, and then out of nowhere, we know that Geiger's been reading the same books now for quite some time. Randomly, he kills these huge giant ants. The story's so ridiculous, it's brilliant. It almost should have been written in the 1950s. And then randomly looks at the kids and is like, you guys need to get out of here. Turns back around to him and is like, unless you got any good books, do you have any good books? Because he's been reading the same shit. And I thought that was brilliant. So what we're going to have here is we're going to have kind of a quest type story, if you will, where the heroes got to get the kids to a certain location safely because they're literally carrying a nuclear device with them. Brilliant. I love this concept. Let's roll with this. Make this interesting. Build up, even take another 2 issues and build the world up a little bit more for me. Hold off on the actual story a little bit longer. Keep me engaged because they're doing a good job of it. So Granger 2 is definitely a stash, and it's my pick of the week.
Granger?
Yep.
Get it
Geiger.
done.
Geiger. Did I say Granger? I'm sorry.
In your Pocan Joe review video, you kept calling it Granger too.
Yeah, I've been ordering a lot of stuff from Granger lately because I'm working on the project. So I got Granger on the mind. Geiger.
They're the ones that get it done. So, I mean, it's fine. Yeah, since Mike didn't read Geiger, or he's waiting to pick it up.
Let's talk about something else.
Hold on a sec. I read this book.
Oh, you actually read something good? Go ahead, Dave.
Oh, I see where we're going with this. I'm just happy to see that a Jeff Johns and Gary Frank story is out on time versus Doomsday Clock versus there was another one that Jeff Johns did. It was like so delayed. I think it was that Rebirth crap. So it's nice to see it's out on time. Hopefully maybe they got all the stuff done ahead of time and say, hey, okay, now everything's done. Now we can start distributing these books versus waiting on them to get the next issue done. Overall, this is great. I'm still enjoying this a lot. And of course, you got the big handlebarred mustache. That I think trope is going to be the word of the day. I think if you say trope, you're supposed to shake your arm. Yay! That's what you're supposed to do now. Every word trope. But overall, this is good, dude. I'm still enjoying this. I like Gary Frank's art. I think he does a very good job. Very detailed. It's great stuff. So that's definitely a stash for me too, and I'll pick up the Granger number 3. So, Mike, what are you talking about?
You see the
What do you
Venom
know,
trailer?
Mike? Oh, that Venom trailer is a turd. A turd.
Don't talk about it.
Yeah, I have to totally
We're taking it
agree.
to we're going to take it to the philosopher's corner. We're going to talk about it there.
Oh, don't talk about it too much. I guess we'll hold off on that then.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it.
We'll bring it up.
I'm going to break it down for you.
Are you okay with that, Mike?
Yeah, Venom trailer.
It's not like
Stuff.
Mike's getting into philosophy. By all means, say what you got to say. I'm just saying, don't get deep into it.
No, we weren't going to get deep into it. I was just going to say it was horrible.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree too, but I'm going to help you. I will lead you to the light.
They're
No, you
adding
don't
too
need
much
me
comedy in there, as far as I'm concerned.
We'll see.
You got Venom cooking breakfast in the beginning.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going
I'm
to
like,
talk
really?
about
This is what you got for me? Come on, man.
Legion wants to know what you thought, Mike.
I thought it was fucking horrible. I mean, Carnage looks cool, but it's Carnage. I saw you, the little glimpse of a Shriek there, but who cares about her?
that. Yeah, nobody cares about Shriek.
I'm not excited one bit.
I am.
Yeah. Neither am I. The whole one plus I will say is they gave Carnage not Eddie Brock. What's his name, Mike?
Cletus?
Cletus. They get Cletus Cassidy a different hairstyle this time that they did at the end of the other Venom. He looked too much like Carrot Top at the end of the other Venom.
Yes, it's been
So
a period.
he got a little straightener in the prison at Ravencroft, so they straightened his hair, which makes him look a lot better. I think that's better, but
I wonder what he had to do for that straightener.
I don't know. He probably had to not go straight. He had to go the other way. But overall, dude, the whole tone of it seemed far too much humor. I mean, I want a dark Venom. I don't mind a couple bits of humor in there, like the first one had, talking about being a legless, armless turd rolling down the street. That was hilarious. Little clips here and there, but man, the whole thing of cooking breakfast and breakfast served. That was just like, oh god, dude. I'm not even excited to see it in the theater at all. I just kind of want to pass on it. So, Legion says, I'm absolutely not excited about any chance of religious overtimes in this movie. It only makes it worse than it already is. Lead us to the light, Joey. Like that little woman from Poltergeist stepping in the light, Caroline.
Step you to the light. After I tell you about this, you're going to blow your minds and you're going to want to see the movie. I promise you.
Miss So says she hasn't even seen the first Venom. Do you think it's worth it?
It's worth it if you don't have to pay for it.
I would go ahead if you like superhero movies and you don't mind tropes. Definitely.
Sorry.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with the whole Venom lore, I thought they did a good job explaining it. Not accurately, but you kind of get the concept.
Bruce has jumped in here too. But Mike, why don't you graciously give us your next book?
Speaking of Venom, probably my pick of the week. I have 2 picks of the week, actually. Spider-Man Spider Shadow, number 2.
Oh, I didn't get that one. I passed on it.
Yes.
Are you fucking crazy right now?
Yeah, you fucked up, bud.
The only good Spider-Man book they have. This one,
Steve, if you're watching this, make sure you save me an issue of Spider-Man Spider Shadow number 2, and I'll pick it up next week.
You fucked up.
you read the first one, right?
I read the first one, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, Steve at Rogue City Comics, make sure if you got an extra one, save one for me. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, this one was awesome. First one was awesome. This one, Pete's embracing his dark side a little bit better.
He didn't accept it. He straight accepted it.
He's like, yeah, ever since Aunt May died, I'm down with this, there's a little scene that really got me in this with Kingpin. You know, Kingpin's actually fearing for his life. Spider-Man's taking out all these guys, and Kingpin's up in his tower. You know, he's worried as shit. And all these years, you know, we got the J. Jonah Jameson propaganda.
That was my favorite part.
Spider-Man's a menace. He's a killer. He's a thief. Whatever. Spider-Man's like, fuck this. I'm sick of him. He goes up to Jonah and basically threatens him, breaks his hand, and basically tells him, I don't want to see that shit in your newspaper ever again.
Straight up gangster.
Spidey's ripping off Scorpion and the Shocker's limbs. At the end of this, JJ is kind of recruiting Doc Ock and the Sinister Six to go after Spidey. And at the very end, we get the big reveal of Eddie Brock in disguise saying, no, Spider-Man's I'm going to kill Spider-Man or some shit. But great stuff. I loved it. So.
Since I will be picking that up, Joe, what'd you think of it?
I thought this was brilliant. When you think about a what-if story, they always come out kind of campy and kind of weird. And this is a what-if. Says so up in the corner. And this is a lot better than the original what-if with Spider-Man keeping the suit. You know, you've seen the cover where, like, people are hitting them and then bouncing off, whatever. That was a garbage story. This is beautifully done. What if he kept the suit? What if he kept the symbiote with him? How would it affect him? It would make him a murderous monster, right? That's what we know of Venom in the symbiote suit. And I think this is what everybody wants to see in the movie. And I'll make that association. But breaking the way he broke J. Jameson's hand, the way he tore everybody apart, and then watching the Sinister Six get together is like, okay, look, Spider-Man's not Spider-Man. He's dropping bodies. We need to figure this out. Like, just the absolute panic. And then saying, Craven, come up with a plan. Doc Ock says this. And then having Eddie stab Doc Ock and back and like, only I can kill Spider-Man. You know, I was like, oh my God. I could actually, not that I sit around and imagine how fantasy would work in real life, but if a what-if story was going to happen, if Spider-Man turned bad and what would drive him to do it, I think this story is on the nose. Like, this is the most realistic view I could see in a comic book of how it would happen. And that's what makes this story beautiful. And it is also my dual stash of the week. This was just, like, I'm excited about issue 3. And I don't get excited about things. You can ask my wife. I don't get excited. I just lay there.
That's what 15 years of marriage would do to you. Yes, Double S says Huey didn't pick up Spider-Man's shadow. Is Huey taking crazy pills like Will Ferrell and Zoolander? Maybe I am. Legion says it's great that it's not just a one shot or what if one shot. To see the story autoplay out multiple issues, definitely the way to go. So,
oh yeah, hell yeah.
And Chip says, okay, now he needs to read this one in the morning for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to Joker number 2.
Another pick of the week.
Another pick of the week.
Another pick of the week.
Yeah, I picked up this Finch card. I always love card covers. What do you get? You got the same one?
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's a playing card, for some reason, I dig it. I'll pick up the cover if I had to choose. And plus, it's Finch, too, on top of that. So, a lot of this is just Jim Gordon monologue. He's traveling to go try to find Joker. All the thoughts are in his head of how the Joker tried to break him psychologically and how, you look in Joker's eyes, you can see essentially how crazy he is.
Eye.
Huh?
He only has one eye.
Whatever.
He's a pirate.
Whatever. But so he ends up meeting this woman who gives him a card, that the one that paid, said, hey, go splurge, hey, go buy something for yourself. Go buy yourself a nice suit. Go have fun,
Go kill the clown and have a good time doing it.
Yeah, go. But yeah, mainly it's just Jim Gordon's traveling down, how he's getting information to try to find the Joker, meeting people in the bar and getting them drunk, and hear like the service people talk, so you're able to get the clues together like that. Then he actually goes up to the Joker where Joker is, and it's such a great interaction between Jim Gordon and the Joker at that doorway, and Jim Gordon pulls a gun on him right in his head, getting ready to pull the trigger. But Joker's explaining to him that essentially there are all these people coming to kill me right now, which would remind me of a lot like Ace of Spades. You ever seen that movie?
Right.
Where they're all after that.
Movie. It's a Guy Ritchie movie.
So, and then at the very end, Joker's telling, hey, Jimbo, might want to keep that gun out because we're going to be doing some business. So now Joker and Jim Gordon have to fight together in order to survive off this.
But do they? We're making.
Well, we don't know yet. We don't know yet, but
before that decision was made, that's the and that's, oh my God, that's what makes this good. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
No, it's just I think it's great. That last panel, that made the whole book for me. The last few pages, the Joker and Jim Gordon interaction, the backup story with Punchline, whatever. I can give two shits about. I didn't care about it, but the Joker, dude, definitely good book, dude. I'm definitely enjoying this. Joe, what'd you think?
Yeah, this is oh my God, this was great, and it's exactly what we called here on the channel. It's working out like a Guy Ritchie movie. The great thing about Guy Ritchie movies is usually the guy you partner up with, you're going to screw him over, either accidentally or on purpose, right? So the fact that Jim Gordon and Joker may or may not have to team up, we don't know. The assumption is that they're going to team up, but there's no reason for Gordon to team up with him. It's no different than the Cannibal family. Bane's daughter, he could just be that other aspect. It'd just be a huge shoot. We know the shootout's coming. We know the Guy Ritchie feeling. And honestly, it's a joy to actually see that kind of storytelling in a comic book. And let's be honest, there's only so many writers that can really kind of pull off this many angles into a story coming into one. The beginning of the story, we all know my feelings on over narration, mental narration, going through something. I think it's a cheap shortcut to a story. I don't much like it. I don't like it when they do it in movies either. But in this one, I'll give it a pass because I like the way we told how Jim Gordon was able to find the Joker. We don't know how the Cannibal family and how Bane's daughter figured out how to get there, and I don't think that really matters. But it was kind of okay, we have one solid character. He figured it out. The other ones just randomly show up. And if you watched any Guy Ritchie movie, it's always an explainer story. And then everybody else just kind of shows up and you get like clips and bits of how they pieced it together. My assumption is, unfortunately, issue 4, we're not going to pick up right where this left off.
You mean issue 3?
Yeah, we're on issue 4.
Oh, this is 3. This is issue 3. Sorry.
Yeah, we're going to get how the other people figured out how to get there before the big gun. You know what I'm talking about? Like, oh, we're right there at the action. Like a Guy Ritchie movie, we need to figure out how everybody else got there. And I think that's what's going to happen in the next issue, unfortunately. So we'll probably end up hating that because we're expecting that big moment. And I think the writer's going to pull us back a little bit and tell us the rest of the story in this. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong because I want to jump right into Bullets A-Blazing. But it was like just kind of random how everybody else knew where to go. So let's see what happens next issue. But this is still good and it's a stash.
Mike?
2 things. One, I think everybody was surprised that he found Joker right off the bat, just like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a bit of a surprise, a nice surprise, actually. And 2, one of my favorite stories ever, The Killing Joke, is referenced right at the beginning.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, they had me right there. Jim Gordon remembering everything that happened in that. If you haven't read The Killing Joke, if you're a younger collector, do yourself a favor, find a reprint or a trade paperback of that or something, because
actually you can watch it on Amazon right now, can't you? Like, it's on Amazon.
Yeah, but I guess
it's not as good But if you want a quick catch up, I think
Yeah,
it should be
yeah.
good.
If you want a sex scene between Batgirl and Batman, go watch the movie. Now that's not in the book though. The whole relationship between them.
Yeah.
Oh
you know.
yeah. But yeah, it's co-pick of the week along with Spider Shadow, and I do have that card cover coming too as well. I ordered.
Oh, back to Joe. Oh, let's go do your segment, Joe. What do you want to do?
Let's talk about an oddball. I don't know if everybody actually picked this up or not, but I want to talk about an oddball. Normally, I would go back to a DC because I picked up a lot of DC this week, but I want to talk about this Fantastic Four number 32 and how we were lied to. We were lied. The solicitation said the marriage of Dr. Doom. It said it. It's actually the proposal. What you need to know is this book is fucking hilarious. This was the funniest book this week. Listen to me. This shit was bananas. Bananas. Right? Oh my God. You got Johnny Storm in here having to deal with relationship issues. Like he's got an ex-wife there. And then he's bonded with this other chick from another planet. There's this weird thing with banding. So he's like connected to her. And they can feel each other's feelings, good or bad. And this whole fight breaks out at a museum where like Dr. Doom's countries, like antiques are being there, and Victorious is there, and she's got to protect everything. A battle breaks out with these weird robot people. Like it's just totally crazy. And then at the height of excitement and everything that happens in there, Johnny Storm and Old Sky, they have this kind of, and I love the way the artwork and the story told this. You thought him and his old lady now were in the same bed, but come to find out, Johnny Storm's over banging Victorious. Dr. Doom shows up in a hologram, but he does what any guy does. He goes under the bed, and Dr. Doom's like, yo, crazy servant lady. I'm paraphrasing. You want to get married? And she's like, for the good of our country, yes, I do. And it was just ridiculous. And then Dr. Doom's like, oh, shit, I think I might want to have a best man at my wedding. So he challenges Reed Richards to a duel and mental chess at the same time. And the winner gets like the ultimate, one request from the other guy, right? We don't know what's going on. They battle it out. Dr. Doom wins and is like, will you be my best man? You're the only one worthy. And I'm thinking, oh my God, dude, if you just wanted to go to Vegas, do some cocaine, and hang out with some hookers, like you didn't have to go through all this. Like if it was me, I'd be like, dude, we can go to Vegas. Like we don't have to do all this bullshit. But whatever, dude, because this shit was hilarious. Like I literally laughed out loud. My wife's like, why are you laughing like a madman in a comic book? And I was like, this shit is crazy and it's good. Like this is stupid good. So I had a good time with this. It's the first Fantastic Four book I have stashed in a very long while. In 32 issues, I'm finally stashing one. And it has nothing to do with the story. It was just funny.
Is that Dan Slott? Dan Slott still writing that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, fuck Dan Slott.
Slott's still writing it.
No Slott. Mike, what'd you think of Fantastic Four?
Was it me and you who stood in line to get his autograph?
Dan Slott?
Yeah.
No. It was you and Chad, I think.
What? Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
He's funny. Anyway.
Yeah, Chad was trying to get him to say you're watching Blastin or Stash It, or are you watching Comic Core or something like that, and it was a big old, you couldn't get it out right.
Yeah, he kept Slott kept fucking it up.
Yeah, so it's just like him writing the Fantastic Four. He just couldn't even get a little quick video clipped out either.
The funny thing is, I don't even know how funny he thought. Like when you read somebody's stuff, you know when they're trying to be funny, and sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. And this, I don't think he realizes how funny he's being.
Well, see, that was going to be my question. Is it funny, truthfully funny, or is it funny like God, this is so fucked up. I can't make sense of it funny.
No.
You know.
I legitimately enjoyed this story. Like, this was funny to me. I found genuine humor in it.
Am I a
just don't
clown?
know if it was done on purpose, like a knock-knock joke. Like, I don't know if it hit like that, but I found it enjoyable.
Funny how? Like a clown?
Yeah, like a clown.
Like a clown.
Like a regular clown.
Mike, let's see. Yeah, you're up, Mike.
All right. I did not read Fantastic Four yet. What did I read? Let's go with Silver Coin number 2. Loved it. Little girl, teenage girl, goes away to summer camp, gets picked on. She finds an altar in the woods with the silver coin, and basically slaughters everyone that picked on her. It was right on my alley, just like Jason and Friday the 13th. Good stuff. You haven't read it yet?
I didn't pick it up. I didn't like the first one.
Come on, motherfucker!
I didn't like the first one. Sorry. What? It wasn't my bag, man.
If you're a fan of 80s slasher movies, like Sleepaway Camp, Friday the 13th, this book is awesome. So,
I don't know where Joe went to. Rapture must have got him tonight too. Who knows? I don't know what he's doing. Rapture. Find his little polo shirt laying there and his body gone.
Miss So says she still has her copy of The Killing Joke. Great book. First print.
First print. That neon green is the first print, right?
Right. Yes.
Well, while. Go ahead. You have that?
What?
You have first print?
In my first collection that we sold, I did.
So let's go ahead and do it while Joe's gone.
Oh.
Ooh la la.
Mike's meat and potatoes. Go ahead, Mike.
Real quick, don't want to take too much time on this. This is Grim Fairy Tales number 89, and this is a Francesco cover. It's just one of the chicks in a schoolgirl outfit showing her britches.
Britches. What are you?
What am I?
Yeah, britches. Who says britches anymore? You just dated yourself.
Her knickers?
I got britches on.
Her knickers?
Okay, whatever.
I did get this in the mail today. This is a Woman of Marvel #1 variant. I'm not sure who it's by, but it's a Scarlet Witch on there.
Oh, that's kind of a cool cover. Like that purple and red. That's pretty cool.
So this is from Frankie's Comics.
Oh.
So I got that in the mail. That's all I got. I got to get some more meat and potato covers that I have easy access to.
even double S. Her knickers?
Knickers?
Her panties? Pantaloons? I think we only had like 6 thumbs up. Make sure you give us a thumbs up on this video, man. Appreciate it.
I got 8.
You got 8 thumbs up? You see him?
Yep.
Okay. Well, never mind. Well, we got 8. Okay. Thank you. Okay. I'll shut my pile. Did you read Silver Coin number 2, Joe?
I did not. I apologize. I failed you.
No. Mike was giving me so much crap because I didn't like the first one. So, Dark Detective, or not Dark, Batman the Detective number 2. Anybody else read that this week? Yeah. So we still have with Tom Taylor writing, Andy Kubert on pencils. So this book opens up with Batman top of the clock tower, throwing the dude off, trying to get information to scare him. Of course, he has a rope on him, saves his life. He stops right before he falls. and he gets away. And the sidekick was just like, he's getting away. And like, no, I put a tracker on him, relax, whatever. They end up tracking his body, and he needs to get back to where the other Bat people are. And they're like, well, you got away from Batman? No, Batman saved me, just barely. We kill everybody who's saved from Batman. So they kill him because he got saved by Batman.
Well, they just didn't kill him. They straight up shot him in the face. They went graphic novel very quick.
Yeah. So because he was saved by Batman, they executed him. It wasn't because he brought the tracker there to show where they were. It was because he was saved by Batman. Right. And they're out to kill everybody who was saved by Batman. That was kind of a weird twist on that, I thought. But it's weird. I don't know how Batman got that tracker under his skin, though. That was weird. I don't understand that. They did an X-ray thing and it showed his body there.
You want me to do an evil layer project for you?
No, you don't. Well, it come with a lead thing to cover my crotch so I don't get radiation.
No,
is that what it is?
Shoot a tracker into somebody. You know what I mean? Like we can do that.
And then Batman or Bruce Wayne ends up meeting up with Ducard on the train, and Ducard says, "Hey, you kind of need me. We kind of need to team up to help each other out." But Ducard potentially ends up getting his end as well at the end of the book. Who knows? But this was definitely, I think, a better book than the first one. So it definitely is a stash for me, and I'm going to continue to pick this one up. Joe, what do you think of Detective number 2?
I thought this was great. I like this whole equilibrium thing. It's like, if Batman saved you, technically you shouldn't be allowed to live. And that, should you save somebody from their death? Should you not? It's always been a debate to some degree. So how does that play out? They're obviously taking it to the extreme here. They just focus their attention on Batman and what he's done. So that's their enemy. I like Ducard. Ducard's first appearance is actually in the early Silver Age. In Tales of wrong. I'm sorry. And old school Detective Comics. I can't remember the issue right now, but it's not his first appearance. His first appearance was actually, one of the trainers and they kind of hinted to that in here, but he has a very rich story. And then later on, in later issues, more modern issues, they kind of revised him a little bit, where he kind of came back as a villain. So, they kind of hinted to that in the story, but I don't think they quite explained it very well. He's basically Batman's Kraven, if you think of it that way. He's good at hunting. He can hunt people down. That's kind of his deal. I liked that. I always liked that kind of archetype for a villain, the hunter guy. It makes sense and it's beautiful. And they're always strategists at the end of the day. And I like that. The biggest moments in this, I like that we kind of understood who this Squire person was, but we didn't have to get into a long explanation of it. Kid, unfortunate situation, bad foster home. Hey, that's a Robin all day long. It's a Robin. I like how they fixed that real quick. We don't need a whole lot of story to it. What I'm amazed by is how we went from this campy, beaten up gentleman ghost with Constantine gloves, where it was kind of campy and weird, and then all of a sudden we're into this straight up blasting bodies in the face. And it's just like it went from campy to graphic novel within an issue. And I was like, okay, now I know there's a lot of Batman out there, and it's constant, and it's always, and it seems like a good character, but this is a legitimate one. So I'm kind of on board with this too. It's yet another Batman story that's good. So I stashed.
Mike, Detective Number dos?
Haven't read it yet.
What else did you read, Mike?
Chip Zdarsky. Let's talk about him for a minute.
Well,
My God, this man is a busy ass son of a bitch.
Chip Zdarsky.
Probably my pick, my Blastin or Stashy Writer of the Year. Justice League Last Ride, #1. No, this is a.
Oh, it is. I didn't think it was Chip Zdarsky.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wow.
he got man's everywhere. I'm telling you, he's a
He's
businessman
everywhere.
in
He's
comics,
back and
man.
forth.
This was good. This is an Elseworlds kind of tale. Not normal continuity. Basically, the Green Lanterns are broken up. Justice League's broken up. Green Lanterns want to get back together, and they have captured Lobo. They want to set up their base on the moon. Superman's tired of being Superman, so he kind of thinks it's a good idea. He's burnt out. Yeah, there's just some pretty good stuff in here. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Great art. Yeah. So, last ride.
This book answers the question, and maybe it's been answered in a previous DC book that I'm unaware of, but we now know that Superman sleeps in the nude. We know that now because of this panel in here. Did you remember that panel?
Out of all that, you picked that up.
That's
Yeah.
That's your big takeaway there.
That's the hot dog and tater tots right there.
Hot dog and tater tots.
Yeah, so this was like it was low on my list. I don't think it was my favorite book of the week. It definitely was interesting. Anytime Lobo comes in, and like, how are they supposed to be able to detain Lobo and keep him safe? That's that kind of like Hitman's bodyguard kind of thing, moving in. It's like, okay, we got to protect the bad guy. I mean, this guy's an asshole. We should just kill him, just be done with it. But we got to protect him for other reasons, Yeah, and I kind of want to know, because it doesn't explain, I don't think anywhere else, where this shattered team came from, right? It doesn't explain why the Justice League's broken up, and that kind of stuff.
Something that Batman did, right? Am I correct? Something.
I'm sure that's what it says too. Miss So saying I'm focusing on the important details.
Important details. She called it. One day we'll explain everybody the pig nip story.
Well, you have to be an old school fan of the show to understand the pig nips.
Let's allow these people that enjoyment.
Maybe we should bring pig nips back. The art definitely is good on point with the art. Miguel Magdonica.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome art, dude. I definitely give him that. But overall, it's a stash. I'll pick up issue 2 because I don't think this is a one shot, because it says to be continued. So definitely going to be picking up more of this for sure. So stash. Joe, what'd you think of it?
I think says, what you're looking at. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
Legion says it does say Batman caused John's death.
Yeah, but we don't know how yet, right?
Yeah, no. Hold on, because I'm about to kind of do my thing on this one. This, to
go with Joe on it.
How I read this, and I want to be very clear on this. In Future State, we had the new Justice League, right? We had a Superboy of some sort. They never clarified if that was John or Jonathan Kent or whatever the case may be. But what we did learn in there is that there was a breakup of some massive proportion that happened in Future State that allowed that new Justice League to exist. I think what you're getting here, and if I'm correct, we've been getting a lot of that from our DC stories. I think this is our walk up to that kind of their destruction at this point here. And it's going to have to do with whatever's chasing down Lobo, plus whatever conflict they already have. They're not, and I hope this is the case, they're not able to resolve it. Right? Like there's going to be that underlining problem, because that would be a realistic story. There's just sometimes you can't fix things. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
I thought they were talking he killed Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, it's Martian Manhunter.
Right. So there's an event that happened in here, right, that kills him, and that's just not going to get fixed between them, because that.
Okay.
Sometimes
I just want to make sure you weren't talking about Jonathan Kent. Well, that's what it seemed like in the chat too.
Even in that storyline, it never clearly explained to us in Future State. What I was saying is, in Future State, it doesn't tell us if that's the Connor or the Kent. It never really explained that. We just know it's some Superboy character, unless I'm mistaken.
He's talking about he killed Martian Manhunter.
Right. That's
yeah.
the conflict I'm talking about. But in the
Okay.
future state story for the new Justice League, it never explained to us what Superboy that is. We have multiple Superboys.
Yeah, but I guess I'm not following you because he's not talking about Superboy though.
Right. So think of future state as one story.
Gotcha.
Okay. We have Jonathan Kent off, and then we have Kal-El's son. We'll put it that way, in future state as well. So which one of those is taking over the Justice League in that future state story?
Oh, you're talking about, okay. Now you're not talking about John as in Martian Manhunter and connected to that John.
Right.
You're okay. Okay.
Okay. Am I making sense now? Or are we?
Yeah. Now
Yeah. Okay. I may be still losing you. It doesn't matter. It's going to get a little convoluted here in the beginning because we have we have 3 Superboys in future state right now. Which one of those is the leader of the new Justice League? Becomes the question.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We don't know because we don't know how the other future state stories are going to plan out at this point. We can speculate, we can do whatever, but I believe to kind of hone things back in, this is going to be the starting point of what crushed the Justice League and created in the future state that new Justice League where nobody really knew in that storyline. They never really explained why they were broken up to begin with. We just know we have a new rules and a new team now, and nobody understood why. And we, as readers, are going to get that right now. Does that make sense?
So what you're saying is this is like a Guy Ritchie movie. They gave us the ending first, and now we're going back and filling the story into
All
that.
future state has done that. All future state gave us.
No, I know.
And now we're catching up on the story. So
yeah. Yes, Mike.
Yeah, man.
From my understanding, that this had nothing to do with the DC continuity. This is an Elseworlds like a what if. So,
I'm going to say it's absolutely incorrect because we know that Justice League fell apart. We know they're already broken, and this storyline. I think this is going to be the explanation. That's my You know what? I'm conjecture. No, I'm speculating. I'm speculating that this is where this is going to go. This will turn into the future state story. They can't call it a future state story because it doesn't fit that future state storyline. It's the origin, if you will.
Legion asked, who do you suppose is strong enough to come after Lobo for killing the New Gods?
That's going to be interesting. I'm going to go ahead and say we got a... Oh, wow. It would be, if it was smart, like if... Let's say I had to write it. I would tie it back into future state. I would probably do something ridiculous. Like, that's the whole reason why we need Bolt over in Suicide Squad to be able to come up with some elaborate plan. Like, I would connect it to a future state story.
Oh, yeah. Legion said Orion. Orion would be smart. Orion would be,
Orion would be cool too.
They gotta have a reason, some ties to the New Gods as well. So Orion could be.
I think it's going to be tied to a future state already known storyline, and this is just the origin that you're getting right now. Unfortunately, I think that's where they're going to go with it because we're really focusing on this future state stuff. And I'll be honest, I was not on board with the future state stuff, and then I started reading it, and I'm like, I was wrong. Like, I'll admit when I'm wrong, and I was wrong. It was actually good stuff, and I'm intrigued with it, and I hope it ties into that in some way, shape, or form. But whatever the case may be.
We got a new Mr. Miracle coming out too, though.
Yeah. Well, we don't have a new one. We've already gotten that story, and we're going to do the exact same.
I'm sorry, no, not Mr. Miracle.
Yeah,
Mr. Miracle.
From New Gods, from that timeline.
Yeah, we have a black Mr. Miracle. Yeah.
No. I'm thinking of he escapes from everything. Isn't it Mr. Miracle?
Yeah.
No, that's not of a black Mr. Miracle.
Yeah, he's black now.
No, he's not.
In future state, he's black.
In future state, he is.
Yeah.
But no, we actually have another Mr. Miracle book coming out here in the next month or so.
Yeah, it's the future state black Mr. Miracle.
Okay.
From future state.
Not the scot-free though. Okay. Now, I'm following Legion. Legion's on top of it. He knows what he's talking about here. Joe, he's kind of rambling.
No, I'm not. I'm telling you, it's the same one from future state.
Got it.
I got the advertisement. It's the same one from future state, and it's already been confirmed in solicitation that he's African American.
Oh man, gosh, it makes me not want to pick up Mr. Miracle now because I want scot-free.
If you read the future state one, it was solicited there that he was African American.
Well, I don't care that he's African American. That's not my point. I'm just pointing out I want scot-free. I don't want anybody else. I'll deal with the Brazilian Wonder Woman. I'll deal with that. You know?
Yeah, we know you will.
Yeah.
That's
so let's do it. You got 3 minutes. Comic book philosophy with Pocan.
All right, so let's talk about this real quick. We're going to talk about this particular trailer that came out that everybody's kind of, it's too whimsical, it's too funny, it's too whatever. We're going to talk about Venom 2. So if you look at it, and I'm going to name some certain scenes in it. We're not going to do a reactionary video on it. I'm just going to mention a few things, and I want you to go back and take a look at some of these things. First off, the first thing we need to know is that philosophy and religion are not exclusive from one another. That's very important to note. They can combine, they can work together. We find reason, we find logic, and sometimes reason and logic can be found in religion. As a matter of fact, some of our great philosophers throughout history have been religious figures. So I want you to think about things in this way. What you're going to find out in this particular trailer, if you go back and look at it, this is going to be a much darker movie than the trailer portrayed. This is not unusual. We've seen exciting trailers that have let us down on the movies. Mortal Kombat. But allow me to explain a few scenes in there that I think you need to be interested in. First off, we're going to change the story slightly. With Cassidy, my speculation on this, and we'll talk more on the philosophy side of it, is going to be more religious based. But what we're going to find out is that killing people is an okay thing because there's going to be a religious nature to it. So where are you getting the religious nature to should be the question. Think about the scenes where you see him in the hospital cell. If you look in the background, you're going to see churches, you're going to see graveyard. Also, you see Carnage with a stained glass window as he steps up behind it. This is obvious depiction of Da Vinci's David as he's sitting there. The humanity of man and the religious form that he's been made into, or I'm sorry, the religious creation of man as it's been made towards people in perspective. Overall, Venom, as we've had it to this point, has always been a story of redemption. A person has to find redemption in some way, shape, or form. Some alien being beyond the stars that's greater than him, makes him greater to some aspect, but does not understand humanity and its nuances at some point. Obviously, this would be satire or parody to us in some way, shape, or form as we see the alien try to figure things out. It looks at humanity in its very basic concept. It needs to eat things. It does not understand that syrup, Lucky Charms, and eggs get thrown into things. It just sees it as a thing put together as substance. I believe, and this is speculation on my part, but we still deal with theory on philosophy in this. What you're going to find out is we're going to take a look at religion in this, and we're going to see the dark parts of religion of it and how it can harm a person. If I can speculate a bit more, we're probably going to find out that Cassidy was probably sexually used in a religious sense. Not to get weird, but that probably happened. So therefore, his view on humanity overall is insignificant, as it would be in any child sexual relation thing. In the meantime, we're finding a guy that's trying to recover from alcohol does not see himself as any value or whatsoever, but he's been ingested with some outer being in him, just like if somebody found religion. But he is annoyed by the nuances of it in some degree, shape, or form. If you watch Venom 2, and I'm absolutely wrong with this, by all means, I'll apologize. But I think we're looking at this as the spectacle of the way Marvel would do something. We're not looking at it for its nuances. And I challenge all of you to look at this in its nuance. As Eddie Brock finds his road to redemption, a hero's arc, and we find the villain justifying himself, even if it is through the dark recesses of religion and how it wronged him. But his perception of it is that life doesn't matter because if we pray to something, we're ultimately forgiven. This is going to be the interesting part of this particular story. I don't think it's going to be a buddy cop story. Even though the trailers did portray it that way, I don't see it. There was also other nuances in there. And go back and take a look at it. There's a particular scene walking through the bodega. As he walks through the bodega, there's a particular scene in there where you actually see the alien praise to a creator. It's very subtle and very simple, but as Eddie Brock walks through there, Venom comes out with his little tentacle and he reaches over and kind of says hi to a magazine cover. In the magazine cover, it's Stan Lee, the creator. That's interesting. I think this movie is going to be a lot deeper than most people expect, and I think it's going to be darker than most people expect. Don't let the comedy cloud the message. Enjoy. And also, real quick, intrinsic instrumental value, just to throw it out there. Remember, intrinsic value is something that you can always use. It has a function, a purpose. That's instrumental. Intrinsic value is gold and other bullshit out there. I think this movie is going to make a very clear definition of those two things as it plays through, even in its own comedy. So keep an eye out for that stuff. If it's a good movie or bad movie, who the hell cares? What's the message? And that's my philosophical take this week.
Yes, Mike.
Yes?
You had your hand raised.
Oh, screw you. I was under 3 minutes. I just saw your messages. I was under 3 minutes. You talk more about boobies and hips. Screw you, Mike.
That was not 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Lightning round. we're gonna hit it. Recount number 4. I think this came out last week or something like that. Just got a copy of it, something like that. Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries number 2. Cool Joker cover. I like those. Wonder Woman 772, another Middleton cover, kind of a crappy one this week. Challenge of the Super Sons number 2, still pretty good. I hate when they have Darkseid on the cover, but no Darkseid in the book. That drives me nuts. I hate it. Future State Gotham. This talks about Red Hood and Magistrate 03. It's a black and white cover, a black and white comic, Mike. I'm sure you didn't like it.
I didn't buy it.
This is kind of gives a little story on how Red Hood got tangled up with the Magistrate. Silver City number 1. When you move into limbo after death, you find out this is kind of like a bar and you can kind of do whatever you want. You know, find out that the main character has some powers that she didn't know she had, maybe in Earth. She was a foster kid. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I might pick up issue 2. It's kind of a soft patch for me. And I picked up Daredevil number 182. Picked up that cover too. That's my books. What do you got, Joe?
Go to Mike. I'm reading the chat in case there was any questions I need to answer.
Go ahead, Mike. What do you got?
All right. War of the Bounty Hunters tie-in Star Wars number 13. If you're You know who the Gamorreans are? The pig guys in Jabba's palace.
Oh yeah.
There's this one Gamorrean in here holding his blasters just like a gangster. Let me show you.
Sideways.
Yeah, sideways. Just like just the best part of the book. Let me.
Is he from South Central LA?
Yeah, South Central Gamorrean. Right there at the bottom.
Yeah, that's how you hold it. Oh, dude, he's even doing this. Awesome.
I thought that was kind of funny, but yeah, pretty good tie-in. I'm gonna keep picking up the War of the Bounty Hunter stuff. So I read that, and that's the only other book I read this week. Other than that, I got Batman the Detective #2. You just talked about Children of the Atom #3, Silver City #1. You just talked about Star Wars High Republic #5 already. So Peter Parker, The Amazing Shutterbug.
That makes me seem like it's a dance. Cha-cha-cha-cha, the amazing shutterbug. Doesn't it seem like this? He's doing a little shutterbug. No. I can go ahead, Mike. Sorry to interrupt you.
Hyperion and the Imperial Guard. Fantastic Four 32.
Fucking dance a lot.
Batman Urban Legends #3.
It's kind of a cool cover.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to still be picking these up. I know I'm only liking the first story, and I can't justify paying that money for just one little story. Challenger the Super Sons #2. And Moon Knight #1. No, that's free previews. Look at that art, though. I'm excited for Moon Knight
It's too messy. It's too cluttered. I don't like it.
It's like Stephen Platt. Remember him?
Stephen Platt. No.
Really? What the fuck is wrong with you?
I don't know. God, Joe, what do you got?
All right, so what do I got? I got Hyperion, Imperial Guard. It's a Brood story. Right? And then there's some Starjammer stuff at the end of it. And I get it. Not everybody's a Starjammer jammer. But in this one, it's a different team because we're doing an Elseworld thing, and it was fun. Shutterbug is fun. It's basically a what-if story. Again, I already talked about how the other story kind of hints into this. Basically, we're dealing with negative zone. Woo-woo is the best way to put it. All right. X-Core. This is a garbage book. Oh, my God. If you pick this up and you're like, oh, I'm thinking about reading it, just go and throw that shit in the trash right now. Because what you're going to get is entrepreneurial, woo-woo, fucking bullshit guru stuff that sits there and tries to tell you how to run a business and how you need to be forward thinking. And the truth is, at the end of the day, that shit just makes you broke. Don't read this. This is garbage. Oh my God. I've read better in a pamphlet. For the DC side of the house, Batman #3. This was good. I like the. I don't much care for the Red Hood story in it, but the rest of the stories in it were pretty good. I love the Grifter story in it, but they kind of actually broke down the difference between a grifter and a con artist, and those are very different things, and they made it very clear in here, and I really like the way they did it, and they really explained why the grifter is a grifter and not a con artist. Let's see here. Superman #31, we're going back to that whole parasite story thing. It's a big trap, but now the question is, can Jonathan basically take his daddy's place in this? Because like now he's got to do it, and this is very heartfelt. And I think the writer's truly writing from a place of maybe experience, maybe something else, but there's something very heartfelt about this, and it's just enjoyable read. So I absolutely love that. Another future state story. Gotham. I don't. Yeah, it's another Batman story. If you haven't figured it out yet, you're like, what is it? Red Hood becomes a peacekeeper. Somebody's mysterious talking from. It's a Batman story. So we're done there. Oh, the rest of the Bat family wants to beat Red Hood because whatever. Doesn't matter. Let's see here. So that's a blast. I should make that clear. Challenge of the superheroes. This is fun. Like, oh my god, if you just want good comic book fun, like Drew Manchu and Spectacular Spider Grandpa, they were reading volume 1 of this, like this whole dynamic thing, and I just didn't get on board with it. But listening to them speak about it,
I read it too. That was like one of my favorite
I'm sorry.
books. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You read it too. I didn't. I stayed off of it. And you know what? I was wrong for doing it because I really like this dynamic. Tomasi does a great job with kids. And this whole entitled stuff, I generally consider the woo-woo category. But in this one, at least they're making it entertaining. Although I don't like the artwork in this. Like, or when they go into the past, I don't like the past. The modern artwork in the beginning of the story, I like. But when they get into the past, it's like it gets kind of cartoony. I don't much like it. And that's my haul for the week.
Who thought it was a good idea to make an X-Men book based on corporations?
Off of the tech corporation.
Yeah. So Legion said X-Men is garbage right now. Shocker. And now they're relaunching X-Men #1 here too in the previous guide.
Oh yeah. I saw that.
Is it a new writer?
It's Gary Duggan, which I think I've dug in some of his work before.
Yeah. They need to chalk this up to a loss because this. Like, there's no. The problem with X-Corps is it's like all the other X-Men. There's no defining hero thing. It's just literary word salad with the right keywords, and you're supposed to speculate at this point. It's so dry; it just doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably pick up X-Men #1 just to kind of see what it's like, though. Ads for Universal Size X-Men special. They're going to be coming out with playing on the hype of GSX. I don't think I've seen that.
We have a comic. We have a comment in the from Legion.
Yeah.
Have you all had ads in Universal Size X-Men specials?
That's what I just read that. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's
Did you?
like Planet X-Men, Planet Size. I know what he's talking about.
So what is he talking about?
Hold on. I need a Marvel book.
Isn't it
get a Marvel book?
Really blow through the advertisements. I don't read them.
What do you got there, Mike?
I'm looking.
You're looking.
I will say this. Thank you to all of you creators out there. Legion did a almost damn near 3-hour live show today where he brought in people and did a bunch of stuff for it. There you go. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, that's it.
You
50 years ago, giant-sized X-Men changed our world. This June, planet-sized X-Men changes our universe. Interesting.
I don't know. I don't know. I doubt it. I'm so just gruntled with X-Men at this point. I don't. Probably not.
We do want to thank everybody who is in the chat tonight. Legion of Comics, Double S, Miss So.
4 hours. Sorry, 4 hours. He ran a live chat for 4 hours, almost 5 hours. Let's say 5 hours. He ran a chat for 5 hours today, and I was looking through loans and approving loans, and I had him in the background, and I'm like, every now and then I'm like, yeah, laugh, ad, and they kept going. So thank you for doing that because it makes my work day when you stare at computer screens. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Huey, but I did cut him short. He did a solid 5 hours worth of content today, and it was very enjoyable. So thank you.
As I was saying, the reason we do this live show is to be able to interact with people in the chat, which that makes it fun. That makes it entertaining. It makes it keep us on our toes. It gives us the jokes. It gives us the one-liners that we love to play with, and be able to get the reactions from them in the live chat when we say stuff like Joey's putting nuts in his mouth. So it definitely makes the show a lot more. It was Jelly Bean. I know. The first time you do, you deny it. You always deny it. Deny.
You're trying
It's
to make
fine.
a catchphrase when you're the picnic. You need to stop.
So we do thank you, Legion of Comics, Mars Comics, Miss So, Chip Getler, Double S,
Thank you all.
Sleepy Reader. Oh, I know somebody else jumped in there. Bruce Zayas jumped in here as well. So thank you guys for jumping in here. And do enter our contest right now. Make sure you do that. Make sure you do the video and enter that, and get you entered into the contest to win a cool prize box from each one of us.
Go check out a 64-page special. Who did do a contest entry, and it is hilarious.
I want to say Mars Comics said he did one. Is that correct?
Did he? I don't know.
We'll find it. I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
It.
Just so all you content creators out there know, I'm going to make it my official thing. So as everybody knows, I'm stuck at home working from home. So I need this computer and have this computer. So I usually play your stuff. Please don't get offended if I throw the contest into your chat, because I've been thinking, I was like, I don't want this to be a thing where at the last few hours we got to try to cram it in. So, look, I love you all, and I'm not trying to promote Blastin or stashin, but we truly want to give away 3 solid boxes from each one of us. And I'll tell you what, you can go buy all the mystery boxes you want. We're legit comic book. Like, we're not just picking junk out. Like, I'm not giving you my blast stuff. I have that for an auction. We want to generally give a comic book collector, a comic book content creator, whatever it is you are, we want to give you something truly you can show off in your chat or whatever it is you do. So I may start doing it if you have a problem with that and you're like, hey, look, man, I'd rather you not promote that in my channel. Definitely hit me up on the DM or just tell me it's not welcome. That's fine. But I'll be honest with you, I really want people to participate in this. I really want to see you guys kind of engage, because there was a time here on YouTube where these video contests were like a regular thing. Does everybody I think Mike and Huey would agree with this?
Yeah.
Comic book contests were a regular thing.
64-page special. I showed you guys that message in our group chat that he agrees that the video contests have gone away. Nobody does them.
Yeah, nobody does it anymore.
And he actually thanked us for actually putting one on. So Miss So actually asked if she has to do a video to enter. Preferably, you don't have to. 64-page special didn't even show his face.
Yeah, look, you go live. It doesn't matter. You want to do BitChute, Odyssey, Facebook Live, 2-minute Instagram, however. Look, go out there, show your love for the 7 questions are designed for you to show your love of comic books.
We entered the contest. I hope we win.
We did technically enter.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many takes that took? Like 4.
4? Like we were
really?
We took 4 takes.
Joey kept missing one of the questions.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, really?
And
you
if
can edit it in the video where all of a
superimpose
sudden the angles changed very directly.
Okay. Anything else you want to say before we bounce on that? So are we making him do a video for it in order to get into the contest?
Those were your rules, buddy. You're the leader.
No, Mike's the one who did it.
Why you guys?
Oh no, Miss So says she'd be willing to do it with just her voice. So she says that sounds good.
Yeah, just do your voice.
So, yeah.
You don't have to show your face.
You don't have to do any of that.
You could put a comic book up there, record that.
I'll tell you what, if you did it tonight on a tape recorder and you mailed it to one of us, hit us up on Instagram, I will put a sketch video together for you. Like just
Hashtag hot dog and tater tots.
hashtag. Yeah, I've been drinking.
The only reason we show Mike's face is because we have to. He's been an OG member, and he's got to be on there. If not, I would just put a cover in his face the whole
There's
time.
got to be some kind of glue that holds this madness together.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what it is. Sure.
Extremely handsome, and like you need to show the sugar, baby.
Yeah. With that, we're gonna go ahead and get on out of here. So Legion says more skits from Mike and Joe are a must. We've actually been talking about that. We've been talking about trying to do some more skits because I had fun doing that one that I put together and we stitched it.
We need to do a phone thing, and we'll talk about it in the after show. But I have a concept for a phone thing, like a Mission Impossible thing. I think it will be great.
So, I went to Joey's house. I don't like going to Joey's house, but I was kind of forced to because my wife does their taxes.
Awesome.
And we ordered dinner. Or no, we grilled. We grilled. And just out of the blue, we were like, hey, you want to enter this contest?
Our wives were actually doing my taxes, and we were out the garage doing
Didn't Amanda walk in one time? Like,
she walked in like 8 times because she needed some random piece of paper. We had to keep cutting. Yeah.
Okay. Whether you blast it, whether you stash it, happy reading, and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you all for coming to check us out live on this lovely Friday night. Later.